Welcome back. In a minute here, we're going to have the Shogi Harbour playstrategy.org 1015 medley. So, when you don't know what to play, wait for an idea to come to your opponent's mind, you may be sure that their idea will be wrong. Sigbert Tarash. And our Shogi proverb of the moment is drop a pawn on the focal point, which will be interesting because we are about to play Go. Um, and the pawns in Go are stones. So make sure to drop them on the focal point, whatever that might be. We'll see if I go first or second, and based on that, what advice I have to give. So these are going to be variants off of chess, Go, Shogi, and Shanji. First one being 9x9 Go. Uh, Thankfully, so far, 19x19, the full game of Go is not slated for this lineup, but we'll see. Good luck. Alright, I go second, so I'll hold my comment about what the focal point here is. Black moves first. Well, chances are looking better, as they don't play. It's a difficult game, but somebody's got to play it. Well, that's the theory. Alright, so this notion of requiring a player to play in the first X seconds seems not to be enforced, despite the interface heavily suggesting it be so. It is nice that we have all these little coordinates on the sides of the board. So you can see this is A9, this is A1. On lecture boards, I've seen the upper left corner marked as 1-1. Might have seen it marked sometimes as A1. Here these coordinates reflect, these might be labeled for Shogi. So A is on the right and J is on the left, except they don't use J, they use I here. Might be nice if this got tweaked a bit. At any rate, I seem to have the better position. Maybe I should refresh the page just to check that I am in fact connected. Yep. Okay. Well, in 8 minutes and 40 something seconds, maybe I'll have won. I don't know. Wait, is this... No, this is plus 10. Wait a second. 10 plus 15. So, plus 15 seconds per move. We'll be fine, assuming they make their first move. Yeah, I've played 9x9 Go quite a bit. Oh no, maybe 100 something games on the online Go server, OGS. It's a good website. The front end of that is free software. They distribute the front end code. The back end is still proprietary. They've made great efforts. They've made a good, useful API. So much so that when a game targeting beginner Go players, with a target audience rather of beginner Go players, was released on Steam, I purchased said game. I've played on it. You might have even seen my older videos where I used said interface. But yeah, this website, playstrategy.org, collaborates sometimes with the Mind Sports Olympiad. I don't know terribly much about it, but perhaps if I were to read the blog on this Play Strategy site, I would learn more. Well, Sure is a tense game. Maybe they think that I go first. Wouldn't that be funny? I am tempted to grab a snack. I do have time for it, but if they play, I want to be available to make my move. It's easy to sign up for a tournament, and then even if you're still, like, if your browser's open and you don't immediately get DQ'd from the event, um, it is still, I don't know. I thought there used to be a timer on Lee Chess and Lee Shogi that required the first move in so many seconds. I had reservations about that because even though this experience is unpleasant, almost as unpleasant as having to make your move in the first X seconds. Like, your time should largely be yours to spend how you wish to spend it. Um, I could certainly see in real life when people have traveled to play games, if a player is scheduled to play a 1 hour game and they don't show up halfway through, okay, I get it. But, yeah. So, online, I think it's reasonable to give them half the time, in this case, 5 minutes or so, to make their first move. Arguably, you could give them their full time because, like, we're playing a Swiss tournament. It doesn't matter how fast this game goes, other games in the same round still need to finish before the next game becomes available. That's the nature of how Swiss events work. If you're playing an arena format tournament, that's different. Maybe Lee Chess and Lee Shogi don't want to maintain different disqualification rules and code and policies for different time controls. Good luck. So, yeah, I played my move. These look like focal points to me. And I've split them into two groups. And we'll see how effective they are. Now, the key here is I've got a 5 minute time handicap, so I shouldn't just blitz my moves like a total ding dong. I should make an effort to beat them with good moves. I don't know what moves are good, by the way. So, wait. I'm playing Gote. I don't need to... There's only so much space I need to grab to win this. I don't need to overpress to win this. Alright, I'm gonna try this because I'm curious. There is a heavy risk that the stone in the upper right corner gets orphaned. So I think they have to play the center top square. But I can form a thin connection to this upper right stone. They could also threaten to cut me. And I think that's fine. I think I've taken the most crucial points on the board. There's the cut. If I push, they cut twice. I don't know. If I lose one stone, it's not a big deal. If I lose two stones, it's a bigger deal. Yeah, that would lose two stones if I'm too attached to this. So, I'm just going to connect this way. They can take one stone if they desire. They do desire it. Hmm. Like, I'm not some grandmaster of Go. I'm not an expert by any means. On OGS, my rank is 10Q. So, unless I get a fairly substantial advantage, I'm going to have difficulty playing this game. Go is a hard game. If I cap this. I do this, they invade. I do this, they do that. I do this. I don't prevail there. I could do this. I'm opposed. Um, hmm. Like, we've already entered an endgame, it seems. If I connect, yeah, it's the same thing. I should take this point then. Then they push, and it's annoying, but I'm not seeding a stone and I'm not seeding space. If I go here, they go here. We switch that up. Oh, that's interesting. Here, no, they hit this instead. It's fragile. I do this. Can they stop me? This looks reasonable. I've effectively wedged myself, but I'll see how bad it is. If I continue, they go here somewhere. Yeah, I'll take some space. This looks playable. All I need is half the space on the board and not giving up a lot of stones. Actually, I don't even need that, depending on what Komi is. So if we have a generous Komi, then I should just have already won this. They might push here. I might have to connect solidly. Or do I leave that in Ko? I don't know. Connecting looks reasonable. Invading to some extent here. Well, I can go over this way too. Okay. Yeah, I solidly connect. This is going to give me initiative somehow later on. So I don't like lose all of my stones, all my groups. If they live in the upper left, hopefully I get a ton of territory somewhere. We'll see. But yeah, I don't think this is overly solid. I think it's just solid enough. If I push, run... Yeah, I don't know. On the focal point, apparently. That's where I'm supposed to. So I'll try to give my center group more liberty. since it's not in danger of being surrounded. Maybe this stone is in danger. We'll find out. Tick, tick. I have two. Capture races are fun. No. There is a possibility I misread this somehow. Shit. Yeah, I misread it. These two stones die. Take away eye space. Oh, they just leverage this to hit my corner. I could resign this with a clean conscience. I never claimed to be good at Go. How can they make two eyes from their shape? I don't see how they can. It's Atari. Oh, crap. Yeah, I forced them to play another good move. I'm not good at this game. I am not good at this game. Yeah, I needed to play here instead. Well, we'll see if I can bluff my way in somehow, but this looks extremely lost. So this is the variant I thought I'd do the best at out of all the variants in this medley arena. Because I've played dozens of 9x9 Go games on onlinego.com. However, I seem not to be winning this. Alright, thanks for game. So my game was the first to finish. Let's take a look at this. At least now I've played a rated serious 9x9 Go game on play strategy so we have the life experience of having done that. Yeah, so this is why I wanted to not walk away and grab a snack during my game, because, like, I wanted to play my best. I did play my best. It was terrible. I guess I can once more, as I repeatedly do, reiterate that having skill for chess does not instantly translate into skill for other strategy games. And the fact that if you look on my YouTube channel and you see some of my first 81 Dojo games that I played were with me ranked as 5Q, the reason the videos only start there is because that's when, after months of losing every game, I started not to lose every game. So that's when I started keeping the videos. You can find videos of me playing Go on my YouTube channel. It's about as bad as what we witnessed just now. I cannot read like 2 moves ahead. So it's a bit difficult. That said, look forward to the next rounds in this tournament, because other games might get played. We might get some Chinese chess. I haven't played Chinese chess in about 20 years. So, from when I was first introduced to the game. Sure, I've watched some YouTube videos about it, but I would not claim to be an expert at Chinese chess any more than I am an expert at Go. So maybe I should start making videos where I just routinely fail at things, just to, like, clarify to people who seem to never understand that, like, this excuse that, well, I wasn't a chess player, so I'm never going to be good at this. Like, it's such an old, tired excuse. It's not a useful line of reasoning, nor does it provide any room for growth, because that excuse can never go away. So then you have to, like, find other excuses. And people are pretty resilient in general. They're good at blaming, well, not blaming themselves, but having a positive self-outlook, even at the detriment of reason. That, I'm not sure if this stone was necessary. I might have dropped at B8 as marked on this board, or 2-2. But yeah, this is an endgame move here, this A2. I think this could have followed later, but maybe white's completely winning anyway. So if I see a 12 and a 3, does that indicate 12 captured stones and 3 captured stones respectively? I assume so. In which case, white is cleanly winning even before Comey. But yeah, I've got to wait for this game to finish before we can continue the tournament. I guess we can thank the tournament organizer for bringing this together. Their play strategy handle and handle elsewhere is Praesodymium Spike. It's one of those fun element names on the periodic table that I know nothing about, other than it's a fun name. So yeah, I'll be looking to place here. black might not be in the best situation. Huh. Well, that's a safe move. Black can now take 2 eyes in the corner. Maybe white just wants to conclude the game. I don't know. To me, it looked as if white could have grabbed more stones, even though it seems by counting that white has cleanly won the game already, provided they don't make some absolutely terrible mistakes. One time, I forget if this is on a Mac or a Windows machine, but there was a version of Go that allowed you to give yourself as many handicaps as you wanted. So I filled the board with my stones, minus a couple squares. And rather than passing to declare victory, I just kept filling the board. And then I self-Atari'd, and the opponent captured all my stones on the entire board. And that reminded me how the rules of Go work. That, yeah, a group with only one liberty can be captured, even if that group consists of the entire board minus 1 square, because placing on that 1 square is not self-Atari if it performs a capture. So valuable lesson there. Okay. So I assume players will pass again pretty soon. Unless white is interested in capturing more stones and does capture more stones. Yeah, so white placing a stone just reduces their liberty, so white passes. If black passes, I forget if you need multiple passes or not to end the game, but we are certainly looking at a position where most of the board has been resolved, and placing stones seems to mostly be at the peril of those placed stones. Okay. 50 seconds for opponent to offer dead stones. I think like G6 looks dead. That white stone in the center of black's territory. But that aside, well, we'll see if the players understand the game mechanics or if the game has to continue. I'm not sure I understand this interface either. Okay. So I don't. Yeah. All right, there we go. 1 dead stone. Now let's go back to the tournament. Next round we have mini shogi. What was this gentleman's Go rating? Is it shown there? They have an Othello rating of 1578, or lines of action rating. Yeah, they were good at Go. I mean, so this player said that was my second ever Go game. How'd they do? They won their game. What more is there to ask about? So, I've seen some games of mini shogi played. I forget the last time I've played this, but there was a chess player How do you play this again? This is tricky. Let's push here. Hopefully I haven't lost yet. So, Mini Shogi is a rather tiny board. Many things can happen in such a small space, or confined space. Um, I don't understand the strategy of this game. I do see there's a rook and a bishop in the same corner. So if my opponent exchanges, I could take back and then threaten to drop here. If they drop here instead, I can retreat and be attacking this point. And in Mini Shogi, the king is surprisingly vulnerable. So, I haven't tried to use the rook yet. Not sure where best to use it. Oh, I've actually trapped my own rook. Oh, I wasn't looking. Silver drop. My rook has nowhere to go. I was so excited about winning their rook that I forgot. I have some challenges of my own to face. So I played first, but the opponent's already heavily attacking me. I'm attacking this gold. I'm attacking this bishop. With any luck, somehow I'll attack the bishop and the gold at the same time somehow. That would take some luck, though. If I drop the rook somewhere, I'm threatening bishop takes gold. Wait, that's their rook. I have to drop my own rook. I'll drop it here. My threat's bishop takes gold, and then gold drop mate. My threat looks somewhat hollow because they can just drop a rook on the same rank. But I don't know. What else is I going to do anyway? I could have dropped it on this file, but I think they just dropped on the center square. Check. Turns out that, like, being good at Shogi might help you be good at Mini Shogi. Maybe. Let's check out game 2. So, okay. Well, that's pretty cool. They've built quite an initiative here. There should be a lot of loose space around Senta's king, though. So I'm not so sure about this. It's surprising just how vulnerable the king is against so few pieces. Attacks can pop out of nowhere. There is a fork here, but is there a better move? The fork looks really good. Yeah, I'd do it. I'd take the fork. There might be some inconvenience resulting after tactics, but a piece is a piece. I wonder what game. So this is a 5-round medley arena. I wonder what game we're going to get next. I am hopeful we do not see 19 by 19 go. I opined that such a game might take a very long time to play. But also, like we saw how good I am at 9 by 9. How good am I at like 15 by 15 or 19 by 19 go rather? Ooh. Well, yeah, your tactics are starting to show up. Not the way I would have expected, but there are what can be done here. This gold is often never land. Maybe they push the pawn to defend the gold? No, the silver's hanging too. Well, that's painful. There is a check to defend the gold, but tactics are ultimately not in Gota's favor here. They're going to need more than one piece to make a successful attack here. Yeah, so this check looks quite strong. The opponent has a rook to defend with. And the tricky part is finding a good next move here. Maybe? No, that's not how I'd do it. Maybe they see better than I do. But this looks scary. On the other hand, Senta has only one piece in hand. So maybe Gota attacks faster. Maybe my entire evaluation is wrong. Like, Rook 2-5 looks possible. Oh, but then King 4-4. Not 5-4, but not 4-5, not on the bottom row, which allows a fork. A King 4-4 prevents a fork and seemingly saves a piece. There's too many tactics. Rook 2-5, King 4-4, Bishop 3-3. There's no mate. So, yeah, maybe Rook 1-5 instead. Just trying to get the piece back. I'm not sure if Gota's ever going to get the piece back, though. Oh, wow. There's a lot of sharp tactics here. Yeah, I was briefly looking at this. I'm not so optimistic about it, because, well, I didn't even see that. And that might not matter so much, because this helps Gota develop faster. Like, I don't want to give away that gold for anything here. Anything less than mate, that is. Um, hmm. Yeah, I don't see Gota checkmating here. That defends the gold general. Um, Senta plays a defensive move and maybe lives to tell the tale. Wait, wait a sec. Takes, 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 takes. Check. Yeah, Senta doesn't live to tell the tale here. Sorry. This is cut and dry. But will they see it? There's the first move. There's the second move. Maybe taking the bishop's a mistake. Is it possible to survive if you just leave the bishop on the board? That'd be crazy, but this is a desperate time. That's not the best. Well, maybe it is. No. You needed to try king 4-5. This doesn't delay it, as best as I can tell, because this move exists. So king 4-5 would prevent this silver drop, but maybe there have been something else. Like, I don't know. We'll never know. That's a shame. The reason this fails is if the king continues running up the board, it does get mated. Wait, right? No. The king goes up. I thought this is a mating net. Am I blind? Wait, I don't understand. King up. Oh, gold back. King up again. Gold drop. Yeah, that is mate. That's crazy. Right. Now it's time for the game we've all been waiting for. Dang it. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Looks like Five Nights is running away with the tournament so far. Oh, this is going to be so difficult. Let's see if I've learned anything. Let's see how much I've learned. Good luck. My browser crop isn't good here. Clipping some of the board. I need to adjust my board size. How do I adjust it? Oh, I've got the little wedge on the corner. Okay. Okay, that is a cannon move. What were the opening moves in this game? I think this is a move? Maybe? It seems maybe I'm equally matched here. We'll see. So it's important to activate your chariot. My horse is defending my pawn from the cannon. Their horse has aspirations, so I will shut it down. And then I can use my chariot on the file. Okay. Um, Oh, right. The most basic threat in the game. I could use some defense to deal with it. I'm so perplexed. If I push, they push. If I take, I'm making threats. Okay. So this cannon does not protect the other cannon. However, the elephants do protect the cannon. I cannot take this. However, I can take this. This is so tense. Oh, right, the cannon can move. I can take this. Woo! All right. We're in the game. Um, okay. I can maybe breathe a sigh of relief. Um, so I would like to check the opponent's king and not be checked myself. Um, this looks like a safe square for a knight. I don't know for certain. I guess I could move up my cannon and move it over. Yeah, cannons cannot take this. Um, Cannons cannot capture each other either, since there's no pieces in between. Okay. Um, this is check. No, it's not. This I'd like to be check, but it is not check. If I could get both cannons on the center file, then that's a pretty big thing. That's currently not the situation. I'm maybe threatening knight up and then knight double check. The king escapes one way or the other. It would be much easier if neither of the advisors blocked the general. I kept saying king's the general. It's not the king. I couldn't opine as to whether that's a king or just a general. Oh, I could move this cannon up here and around. I forget, can this pawn retreat? It's crossed the river. I think pawns that cross the river can only move forward and sideways. I don't think they can retreat, but either way I could move up and across. Oh, then they can interpose. I could take the interpose in piece, the interpose again. It's not ideal. um, mhm. So if I check... Oh, I could take the knight next. Okay. Or the horse, rather. Um, this up, over... Yeah, it looks strong. Oh, and then I can jump back and take this pawn. So obviously they can't interpose on the file. They can't interpose until I've interposed first. Ah, right. That's how these pieces move. Okay. Well, this is check. King takes, or general takes as possible. Oh, I'm so optimistic. Why am I so optimistic? Oh, that's not good. Alright, let's bring my chariot out. Hmm. Wait, I could bring this back and over, but that's not mate. Just because my own king or my own general's surrounded doesn't mean theirs is. I could test my theory about this promoted pawn not being able to move backwards. I could test that by threatening it with the chariot. Mm-hmm. Where's this going next? I don't know. Hmm. What's... Yeah. I think this is... Well, this could be a lot worse. This king is gonna move again. I'm trying to make way for my chariot. Like, if they try to mate me directly, I can go back and take this pawn. Um, Perpetual check is not allowed. It's not even encouraged here, really. Um, so it's not a subtle threat, but the only move I see to counter it is moving this cannon. After which I could move up again. I just don't want this cannon in my space. Plus, I could go back down and then hit this a second time. Mm-hmm. Could also go up and then promote the pawn. Wait, no, my second... No. I don't like this move, but I think it's necessary. Hmm. Yeah, actually. No, this is defending that. If I drop back and... No, it's too late to... Well, no. This is playable. No, my king gets mated that way. Um... If I drop back... Ay, ay, ay. Um... Fine. You can have this piece. Wait, is there a mate threat? How have I missed a mate threat here? If my opponent's not threatening mate, then why'd they play that? I think I'm seeing this correctly. We're gonna find out in a minute just how I messed this up, but for now this looks fine. I think there is a rule about the chariot. Or, I'm sorry, the cannon chasing the chariot. I think that's not permitted. I don't know if that applies in this circumstance. Um, oh, they could block with the chariot. If they block with the chariot, I check with the cannon. King moves over. Uh, Chinese chess is hard. Yeah, they block with this one instead. Um, hmm. Oh, I'm getting mated if I'm careless. It's easy to be careless here. It really is. Oh my gosh. So if I defend this, I'm fine, right? I don't know. No, then they bring the chariot over and mate me. I don't have time to defend that. If I don't defend this, I get mated somehow. There's some standard pattern I'm not aware of that, well, if I check and then if I retreat this, they advance this way. Um, I do not like my chances here. So my plan's to mate with the other chariot. And just be optimistic for once that, like, I'm not missing something crucial. Lifting the other chariot out looks tricky, but necessary somehow. Did I just promote this now? 1, 2, 3 or something? They're gonna move the horse, which threatens this. Let's just try this. So now I've blocked the third rank. So it's impossible for my left chariot to make it here. Yeah, I did see this coming. I just didn't know what to do about it. I can take here, but I can take back. In a turn, I'll be able to move this, or defend it with the other one. Okay. That's desperate. Oh, that's not a pawn. I could take my elephant that way, sure. Um, that's a sacrifice, but I don't know what else to do here. Threaten mate. There's probably a dozen easier things that I missed. However, oh yeah, there's that. I could still jump my horse again. Well, no, they're threatening this. I can't just ignore that. That said, this is check. Oh, wait, they can block with all three of their pieces, and then that's mate, because the king is stuck in the palace. Oh, jeez. Chinese chess is hard. I'm glad I didn't thoroughly embarrass myself here. Thanks for game. Oh, phew. Oh my goodness. So what's going on over here? As if I could commentate this. Well, whatever piece that is, that must be a chariot. that moved to threaten the elephant. I'm assuming the top right piece is a cannon? Ah, okay, so yeah, black appears to be in severe pain. This is a check from a cannon. However, cannons can only capture over other pieces, so this removes the check. And if only this chariot could teleport over here, that would be neat. If only that were how the pieces worked. But it's not. So that is an unfortunate situation. Oh, it looks like nothing's defending the elephant up there. Oh. Uh-oh. No, Black's horse is trapped. I'm not sure what this centerpiece is. So if this is a cannon, and if that's an elephant, it's an advisor. Is this the king? All the way out here? Could be. Regardless of which two, this is a cannon. So this horse is just hanging. As is the elephant. Yes, I'm assuming they're looking for an efficient checkmate here. Sometime after this video, I might look back at this Chinese chess game I played and try to understand how many things I missed. I wonder if we're going to get mini Shanji. There's variants, or smaller versions of each of these games. If we're going to get the one. I don't even know what it's like. I've seen the variant in a list on this website, but I don't think I've seen or played it. Or if I have seen it, I've since forgotten. In any event, this cannon's pinned. This general's probably not going anywhere. This horse is threatening to enter. And now has more cause to enter than ever before. That's not enough to just use a horse to check the general around. You have to actually mate the general. That said, moving up the board generally helps. Or typically helps. Could also interpose with the cannon. Because it's unlikely that chariot takes cannon would happen. Wait. We're exchanging the chariot for whatever piece stood on that 7-6 point. Oh, that was a cannon. I mean, yeah, chariots and cannons are of equal value. So with many equal exchanges, red will eventually win. Or at least hopefully find some way to checkmate. But surely they see something deeper than that. Is that just a pawn? I don't know I would have done that unless I had a follow-up. Moving up and to the right with the knight looked more useful. Just because there are many squares to check from. Here there's not. Checks have run out. This pawn was going to hang either way. Or advisor. Was that advisor? Yes. Even if the knight were on the right side of the board, that advisor would still be hanging. Oh. Alright, now it's over. Yeah, black cannot checkmate. It would be quite difficult to checkmate in that situation as black. Oh, would you look at that? We have Racing Kings coming up next. Oh my goodness. It's been years since I've played Racing Kings. Yeah. So we're having to explain rules of the thing we're about to play. You're going to race to the top, and if the second player reaches the top of the same turn, it's a draw. Oh, just kidding. All right, well, that works. Uh, yeah. So in a round-robin event, everybody plays everybody. In a Swiss event, if pairings have been exhausted, then, pairings are over. The tournament ends. There are many rules around that. I'm not going to get into particulars, but I find this satisfactory. This is a truthful implementation of the Swiss system. So, that congratulations to Five Nights for winning the event, to myself for taking second, Dinito for teaching me a thing or two about 9x9 Go. That was painful, but we got through it together. I couldn't tell you when the next event's going to be, but we'll see. Thanks for watching. See you next time.